Jai Hind everyone, and I, Ujjwal, author, founder, How to Crack SSB, welcome all of you once again to the channel. And this is the OLQ podcast series in which I will going to touch each and every OLQ in upcoming episodes. We will going to get into the detailed insight of every OLQ so that you can actually make that OLQ as a part of your personality. Just go with the episodes, and I'm sure that this will going to give you a very strong knowledge, understanding to inculcate that officer-like quality within your personality. So till now, if you have not subscribed the channel, go forward, subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon so that for all the upcoming episodes, for all the upcoming videos and the podcast on officer-like quality, you must get the automatic notification.
So today, the officer-like quality that we will going to discuss is very important. And something which is already, I would say, though every officer-like quality is interlinked, but the today's one is somewhat more directly linked with the officer-like qualities that we have already discussed in last 2-3 episodes. So the officer-like quality that we will be discussing today under social effectiveness head is ability to influence a group. So today's officer-like quality is ability to influence a group. That means आपकी पकड़, आपकी ability that you can influence and impact a particular mass in a group of people. So what is ability to influence a group? I have already stated. So ability to influence a group is ability of a person to leave an impactful impression on the minds of the audience through his knowledge, behavior, the intelligence and the overall experience you give while you are leading a particular show or leading a particular activity or an event. Now it's a very, very important activity because a very important officer-like quality, because when it comes to officer, so for officer it's very, very important that all his soldiers, all the people who are being led by him must remain self-motivated and they must carry the same zeal and energy in any worst situation that comes and they have to encounter. Their zeal and energy should always be that charming and strong zeal which gives them a push to move forward, to ascend forward as an officer, as a soldier, as an armed forces personnel. So for an officer, ability to influence a group is very, very important. And what it is, it's very simple. Now if I'm not wrong, many of the aspirants and many of the viewers who are watching this show right now, what I personally feel and what I have observed these days, it's not just being about the officer, but every person has this desire that they can influence others. I have seen this specifically in the youth, that they have this feeling, they have this strong desire that we must have that art and talent कि हम लोगों को influence कर पाए, हम उनको impress कर पाए. So ability to influence a group is a officer-like quality, which is, yes, definitely very important for an officer, but at the same point of time, it's basically again one of the very important, you can say, property, a personality trait, and one star in the leadership. So anyone who is trying to pull him or her for the leadership, ability to influence a group is very important, because if you really want to lead something, if people have to come following you in a particular mission, in a particular task, in a particular activity, that can only happen when they are influenced, when they are impressed, when they are convinced with your words, with your personality. So it's very, very important. Here, two things are very, very important you need to understand. ability to influence a group also has two very subtle dimensions to it, a very two different things which you need to understand when you are trying to improvise and enhance this officer-like quality, when you are trying to imbibe this personality trait within your personality. Two important subtle dimensions you have to understand. Now, what are these two dimensions? Dimension number one, when we talk about influencing a group, so many people just relate it with a simple statement that you have to be a good orator and a presenter. मतलब जब हम बात करते हैं कि एक ग्रुप को इन्फ्लुएंस करना है या दिस पर्सनालिटी ट्रेड यू हैव टू इम्बाइब, so majority of people, they just think that influencing a group means that you have to be just a good orator and a presenter, which is undoubtedly yes important, and yes, it is one of the thing which plays a very vital role, but this is not the only thing that you have to look for. If you truly want to learn and imbibe and inculcate this personality trait, this officer-like quality, you have to understand and you have to look for the more subtle second dimension of this officer-like quality, and that is influencing a group and then retaining and sustaining that influence. तो जो बहुत important dimension ability to influence a group वाले personality trait की है, officer like quality की है, वो ये है कि आपका एक group है 100 people का, so you first time you come as a speaker or first time you come to command them, so you are the one who are commanding a particular activity, and first time you met, let's say, a group of 100 people, so you presented fantastically well, your speech was superb, you connected very well with your audience, everything was great, and everyone was influenced with your words and by your saying. They were convinced. Now important is, which is a very subtle dimension, which as an officer is mandate, and that is, are you really able to sustain this influence or not? Or 99% cases mein I have seen great presenters, I have seen speakers, I have seen motivational speakers, inspirational talks, all those things. In that important part that I have seen in 99% cases is that they have a very good art of influencing the people and the audience, but the fact is that influence is never retained. वो जो influence है वो कुछ time के बाद खत्म हो जाता है. Now here you need to understand that till the time you are not able to sustain this influence on your audience, the impression, the convincing that they got from your saying and words, if you're not able to sustain it, then you have not truly understood and learned the art to master this officer-like quality, that is ability to influence a group. So please don't ignore it, because something which has to go forever, you must look for its sustainability. That's very important. That is applicable in every dimension, and that too, it is also applicable in this officer-like quality, this personality trait, that is ability to influence a group. So having said this, now let's move on to the final area for this officer-like quality, and that is how to enhance the ability to influence a group, how to make it a part of your own personality. So the idea is, there are many people, there are majority of people who say ki we want that we should be able to influence, but we are not able to do so. Please suggest us, give us a way, a remedy, a learning, a teaching through which we are able to influence a group. So the way and the process, the remedy, the strategy for imbibing this art is, so I'll give you a pathway for it. The very first most important primordial thing is, if you really want to influence a group, you should be first of all convinced with your own words. You should be convinced with what you are saying. Now, how you will get convinced? So it is not about convinced. I don't want you to get stuck up into a belief system, which I talked in earlier OLQs also, where you say कि yes, I am convinced, I am confident कि मैं बहुत अच्छा कर लूँगा. So this is not about convincing, or this is not about that you are clear with it. So the idea is, as I earlier said, that clarity, confidence without clarity is absolutely disastrous. In the same way, you have to, when you say that when I'm saying that you need to be self-convinced with what you are saying, for that, don't be convinced keeping a view and a perspective that you are confident about it. Rather, you need to be convinced with clarity. So, how you yourself will get convinced, and you will not be in an, what you will say will actually have that ground and value, that will only come through the clarity. Let me tell you, this particular part which I just stated right now is very important, which majority of people miss, and this is the only part which is responsible for that second subtle dimension of the officer-like quality, ability to influence a group, which I just discussed 5 minutes ago. That is to sustain the influence. जो influence sustain होगा ना, वो तभी हो पाएगा जब आपने जो बोला होगा, you yourself is convinced with it, and that too, that convincing of your own self must come from clarity, not from just a blind confidence or hallucination. कि हाँ मुझे पता है कि मैं कर लूँगा. ना, you have to be clear on it. With this, that second subtle dimension will be achieved, where you will be definitely going to achieve that sustainability. Add on to this is the most important vital part when it comes to sustaining the officer-like quality, ability to influence a group. Add on to this, there are 4 more things which are very important, which you have to understand. Number 1, you have to understand the mindset of your audience. You need to think like them. You need to put yourself in their shoes. The people who are not able to put their own self in their audience shoes, in the shoes of the people, they cannot and they can never influence that group. So for influencing, you must know their psyche, and that can only happen when you are able to keep yourself in their possession. Number 2, whatever you speak, that must come from clarity and knowledge. So clarity and knowledge plays a very, very vital role. Because what happens if you do not have a clarity or knowledge, till a certain time and with a certain audience, which is, I can say, not too much equipped in that particular topic, you might be able to influence them. But the moment it comes to influencing the most intellectual lobby or the most intelligent people or the audience of that subject, you will be a total failure. So if you really want that I should have this ability to influence the group, irrespective of the fact that I have the master of that field or I have the starter of that field, still both of them get influenced by me. So in that case, very important part is the clarity and your knowledge that you have for that domain. Third and the most important is, your knowledge must be practical oriented. That means you have experienced something. हमेशा याद रखना, लोग उन्हीं से इम्पैक्ट होते हैं या उन्हीं की बात सुनते हैं जिनका खुद का प्रैक्टिकल अध्ययन रहा होता है, जिसने हाथ खुद जलाया होता है. Because when a person who has tried something and is already the one who has burnt his hand, that person speaks from heart, and whatever he or she speaks is 100% truth, and the audience is easily able to correlate कि अरे हाँ यार मैं भी जब ये करता हूँ तो मुझे ऐसे ऐसे challenges आते हैं. And the same thing is this person, this speaker is saying right now, which means कि यार मेरी और इसकी कहानी same है. In this case, they get very easily influenced. And at times, when you just talk very nicely, you are a very good presenter, but you do not have any practical experience. You have just gathered all the book theoretical knowledge, and you are just now trying to present it in a very smarter way. That can never have the everlasting and amazing impact. That can be very good, that can influence a group, but again that won't be an influence which will sustain forever. So the idea is you must have done those things practically, which means आपने अपना हाथ खुद जलाया हो. And by any chance, if you have not burnt your own hand, then you must have a great initiative to do it at your own first. Like I'll give you an example. फौज की अगर मैं बात करूं, so if you are on a mission and if I am commanding a battalion and I have also not experienced a situation and I keep my all force, my all battalion, my all people very motivated, they are very influenced, very positive about doing something and about making this mission happen, and we encounter something which I have also not done. In that case, if I have not done it, my initiative to go first should be the highest, because this initiative of doing it at the first level, even though I have not done it, still helps my people to keep that same faith and same influence of my words. Because one thing is clear to them, and that is what I say is what I do and act. So the most important part for making people influence is either you have experienced something or not, then you should be more of an action oriented person who is ready to act rather than just speaking and telling people and just guiding people. And last but not the least, one of the very important aspect which also helps you in various other things, and that's the behavior. How you carry yourself, व्यवहार जो होता है ना, that plays a very very important role. बहुत बारी ऐसा होता है आपके बड़े सारे काम नहीं बन रहे होते किसी भी वजह से, but just your behavior makes those things happen. That is why behavior plays also a very important role in influencing a group. So cumulatively, this all helps you. This all is a remedy for imbibing the officer-like quality, ability to influence a group within your own self, and even for sustaining that influence. Even that influence must remain. The audience must be stamped forever, that influence and impact should be carried in their mind forever. So for this is the remedy, and once you guys do it, I'm 100% sure that all the viewers and all the people, all the aspirants who are very somewhat trying to improvise this personality, trying to improvise their own self and trying to inculcate this officer-like quality, definitely they will be able to improvise on it, and their ability to influence a group will be better than what it is today.
And I'm sure that you must have got the powerful learnings from this podcast, from this video. Now what I want you to do here is just go forward and below in the comment box below this video, write your top 3 learnings that you have learned from this detailed podcast. And I'm sure you must have learned a lot of things Just write the crux top 3 learnings, and I'll personally going to review the same and I'm going to reply back onto it. All right. And I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching this podcast, who are watching this video, and a lot of them, you are the part of the How to Crack SSB family only, the How to Crack SSB community, and a lot of you might not be a part of it. But this podcast series is just to give you those detailed insights about the officer-like quality. And the ones who are already a part of How to Crack SSB transformational journey as a part of the family, they must be knowing that they are already going with a transformational experience, as they're talking to me live every week, and I keep on getting their comments and I can see the change coming within them. All those who are new to this channel or the ones who are not the part of the community right now, if you really desire to have that experience, if you really want to get that transformation within yourself in order to start your successful SSB recommendation journey, so here I have a great thing for all of you. Below in the description, there is a link to my free webinar. Click on the link, register for the webinar, and in that webinar, I would going to share the top 3 secrets for SSB recommendation, and also I would going to give you an insights of SSB recommendation blueprint program course journey. Once you will see that transformational program, trust me, you will be blown off. Your mind will be blown off, and every week, lot of aspirants are joining this journey. They are enrolling them, and they are getting that transformation, and they're getting that current of 10,000 volt while they're going with this journey. So if you are committed for Indian Armed Forces, you are committed to bring that non-uniform officer within yourself. If you are committed to bring that transformation within yourself, so here, catch the opportunity, go forward, register for the webinar, and I'll be in there in the webinar. And in the webinar, all of you who are really serious, let me guarantee you that I would going to show you something. After watching that, you will not be able to resist yourself, and you will definitely going to go forward and become a part of that particular journey. So I will also going to give you some special privileges within the webinar. So just go forward and register for it, and I'll catch you guys over there. And till now, if you have not subscribed the channel, just go forward, subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon so that you must get the notification for further podcast and the videos. And also, if you really have liked this podcast and the video, please go forward, click on the like video, and just share the link of this video on your social media with other aspirants to whom you are connected, so that this can benefit to everyone. Because I am on the mission along with the team of How to Crack SSB and the veteran. We are on a mission to create 100,000 officers, channelize 100,000 youth to become the officers in Indian Armed Forces. So I want you to see, and I want you to be a part of that mission. So go forward, have a great learning, keep sharing the great thing, and register for the webinar and start your recommendation journey. Bye bye, thank you, take care, and I really love you all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.